want to start streaming the live event? Yes. So I think we are live here. This is pretty cool because this is the first 360-degree hangout in the history of the European Handball Federation. So we start by saying thank you to this wonderful Ricoh Theta 360-degree S camera, sponsored by one of the event's national suppliers. And that's enough for advertisement right now. And well, for everyone who's watching us, you actually have to turn around while you're watching so that you can see everyone and not just my face. And I highly recommend to turn around exactly 180 degrees because I would like to welcome our special guest. We have a little handball to welcome everyone. Former Norwegian international, now TV expert for Norwegian TV. Hi, Isabel Blanco.
Hi.
Good
Hi.
catch. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, very glad that you made it here. How's life these days? Turning from a handball player into a TV expert?
I don't know. It's nice. It's been a challenge, but it's fun.
Well, we're definitely trying something new here. So if you do notice any difficulties, write us on Twitter at EHF EURO, and we'll try and fix it straight away. Isabel, you can choose who can introduce himself or herself. Next. No, it's not. That's not fair. I have to introduce yourself. Shall I? Well, the guy who just caught the ball, usually you don't see him during our hangouts because he's doing all the social media. Now we had the time to invite him. You may know his voice from EHF TV because he just turned a commentator for our VLX EHF Champions League matches. It's kind of odd to actually look at the camera. This is very new here. Yeah. Exactly. So welcome, Chris, our social media editor here for the Euro and also for the Champions League. Very good to have you here. Who's next? I waited for him. He's been covering the event for us in Helsingborg. So he knows everything about Norway. He knows everything about Romania. He knows everything about Croatia. He knows everything about Russia and Vlado Brinchak. He might even know something about Denmark because he did cover the man right there as well. Hi, Vlado. Yeah. No. You know everything. Oh, we've got two more people. So turn around, keep turning. Everyone who's watching, keep turning. From Australia, but thankfully right next to me, Courtney Gahan, who's been with us at the EHF Euro for 2 years now, 2 years in a row. Hungary, Poland, now here with us in Sweden. Our editor, so whatever you read on the website, Courtney's probably read it before. How are you today? Yeah. Former Australian international, if I forgot to say that. So, yeah. We've got 3 international. Chris is an Irish international, so Norway, Australia, Ireland. Very good. Can we just pass the ball to the last one here at the table? Yeah. Former German goalkeeper. Sixth league. Former German goalkeeper in the 6th league, now turned Germany's handball reporter, Björn. I don't even know what you don't know, so we'll just say, you know. I'm sure between the 6 of us here, we're up for a very good discussion. But Isabel, let's start with Norway. 6 wins, 6 games. You saw each and every one of them. What's your impression of the defending champions?
As usual, they have a very, very good defense. That's been their strength so far. Sometimes don't have the same flow as we usually have, but I'm sure that tomorrow we will be back on track.
That's because you're missing now.
No, you know, Mother Coffee, she scored 19 goals in 19
There's plenty of offense power still left with Paviot, Morg. I think you have a few more who can score goals.
But it's because France has a good game, a defense game.
0-0 at halftime, I heard. From that microphone here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll try and put it here to the center. Speak for France. Everybody is talking about defense, even Tory Ferguson praised the defense of France. But I think also really brilliant play of Zeminko on the playmaking position. And I think when we talk about the history and the stats, the last meeting between the two teams at the top tournament was 4 years ago in Belgrade when Norway won by 11 goals. But as both coaches underlined today, the team has changed tremendously, and France is not the same as it was 4 years ago. It's much stronger with not only many players from the Champions League now, but also I think the level of the French domestic competition is growing from season to season. So this could be speaking for France. But I have to say that I had to change my mind because when my attempt to join your pre-tournament hangout failed, and I couldn't get because of something around. I don't know. But I was ready to say my guess for the final, and that was France versus Sweden. Obviously, as always, but after seeing Norway and how impressively they cope with the absences and especially Heidi Löke absence, now I am not that convinced that France will go to the final. But still, I think
think I should stick to my prediction just to be principled, I would say.
I don't know whether maybe we can talk about like individual players as well. Like we saw
I mean, well, I think Zmenko in particular is phenomenal. She's come somewhat out of nowhere from being a team player into being this. I'm sure she was always an amazing athlete, but she's really combined that with her skill and the way she's been used in this French team. And I think she is of MVP caliber. I think she's up there in the top two or three players for the MVP title this year. Um, but I think that won't be enough for France. I said Norway would win the championship. Very boring prediction to make, but I think it's very wise one to make. It'll be a battle of two styles. Really. The Norwegian team, which semi-finals and finals in the turn of the championship, and the classic Norwegian team, and it'll be up to France to try and stop them. They do have some firepower on the other end, but I don't think they'll have enough firepower to match Norway, and I don't think they will have enough defense to stop them.
Norway. What are they? Interesting point that
Yeah, perfect. You know, Thomas, this is a really good thing, this ball, for this hangout, because it's indicating the direction where the viewers should move their camera, and so they can see the person who is speaking. Actually, it was interesting to hear all the compliments towards Danish or French defense from Hergelsson, but I think Norway conceded only 3 or 4 goals more than France, so even their defense is impressive, I have to say. Uh,
Christina is not the
usually the Norwegian team counted on counter attacks, line player, and sometimes some shots from the backcourt area. But this year, this is what Rumpold said. They have an impressive, of course, Nora Merck, but also in the center and the left back position, there are some young players like Arntzen who came up who have bigger shooting power than before.
Done a great job, and she's a both way player. What do you call it? Something like that. Now she's impressed me, and she's played very well in the European too. And she was a really strong handball had. Yeah, because we have seen Nora and Isabel both at the same time. Yeah.
Trying to get the discussion up. So Norway, we talked about Norway. We talked about France. Shall we have a look at the second semi-final? I see nodding faces all around. Courtney, you've not only worked for us, but you've also worked for the International Handball Federation. You've been to Rio. You've been to the World Championship, the most recent one in Denmark. So you have obviously witnessed very much the rise of Dutch handball to silver in Denmark to the semi-final in Rio. Did you expect them to be as strong as they played so far again here in Sweden?
Well, the fact that they were in the last two major semi-finals before this one, speaking their favour, obviously, I think they entered this tournament as a favourite. Um, but still, they're always impressive. Every time they take the court, their style of handball is just really lovely to watch. There's lots of comments about that, and they really have made their own style. Tess Wester is just a fantastic goalkeeper. Um, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they handle this semi-final now. In the World Championship, when they got to the final against Norway, it felt like that experience, the more experience in the finals for Norway played a big factor. But now the Netherlands are gaining more final experience, so I think we can expect to see stronger and stronger performances in these higher pressure matches from them. Hella Thompson's really been rotating through the whole team, and she's been putting on different options. She hasn't necessarily been playing Coleman and Groot to start, and so I think they're all really ready. And I think, especially with Hella, I think she's a fantastic coach, and I'm really excited to see what they can do. What was it the coaches said in the press conference, that the winner of the game will be the one who scores the most counterattacks or something? And again, they focused a lot on the Danish defense and how the Netherlands will deal with that. But Groot was also highly praised in the press conferences, and so if anyone can get around this new Danish defense, then she's the one to lead the Netherlands to do it.
Björn, one of the major changes that Thompson obviously is only leading the team for literally a few weeks now only. What she did is bringing Maura Fisser back to the team, a player who has been with the team for 6 years, I think, 5 years. Was that, how you say, like a real trump card kind of she drew from your point of view? Was that the kind of player to get in that could make the difference?
I would say exactly this is the point. When you compare the Netherlands, they have one option more in attack. So last year in Denmark at the World Championship final, the Norwegians exactly knew they focus on Groth, they focus on Pohlmann, and try to get out Lois Abing from the other side. So this year they can switch to Maura Fisser again. So there had been kind of conflict with the former coach Henk Gröner, so she was out for 5 years. Now she's back, and when you see her playing, she's an intelligent playmaker, but also a shooter. And in general, she pushes the Dutch team. And absolutely agree with what Courtney said, is that this team will run more counterattacks than Denmark and Norway together, maybe even. So I saw yesterday evening that Denmark won the match without only 2, 3, 4 counterattacks. So Netherlands, they run counterattacks. They have their expert for this, but also, of course, they have this one-against-one players like Groth and Pohlmann, and they have this option with Fisser. So I would say this is exactly this trump card they need to go to another final.
I would just ask, because I didn't see, I just saw one game of Netherlands, and this change from Henk Gröner to Helle Thomsen. As you cover all the games, has the style of the play changed a lot since the change at the coaching position?
I don't think so. I really think that Netherlands play the same style they had in the last years. Maybe little things have changed. You have to see Helle Thomsen took over in October, then she had 1 week coaching the team or having training session with the team. They only had only internal matches. They did not have big test matches. So it's just what also the Dutch players say is that in general they count on what they can, what they did in Rio and in Denmark. And in the end, little things, maybe some little things at defense, they defend a little bit stronger. But in contrast, for example, to France or to Norway, it's more the attack that strikes in the end. But when you see from the style of play, it's not a big difference. But of course, with Maura Fisser, this is the option.
We can turn it up, yeah, in this world full of little techie gadgets. Helle Thomsen today spoke about two teams really playing high-speed handball. This is what she expects tomorrow. Would you agree that after Björn said that tomorrow in the second semi-final 22 goals will be enough to decide the winner? It'll be more or less the exact opposite in this first semi-final.
Well, you could say that, but also when Norway and Denmark met just a few days ago, that it was one you could have expected to be a high-scoring game, but in the end, I think that ended 22-20 to Norway. I think the Dutch won't allow it to be that low scoring. I think every single time they concede, they will make it their objective to strike immediately. They know that Denmark rely so much on this defense, and they have to settle themselves down. I think the Dutch will try to make it as difficult as possible for them to settle down on the transition back to defense. Helle Thompson talked to the media today about what she called, or in German, it's schnelle Mitte, whatever it is in Danish. It sounds very similar in Danish, Dutch, and German. But this response to conceding a goal, where you get the ball straight down the middle, you throw off and you attack straight away. They punished Sweden completely that way. Every time Sweden dared to score against them, they replied immediately. And I think that they will try to do that again, not just because it's their way, but it's also to stop the Danish defense from settling down. So I think maybe not completely opposite. There's the possibility for it to be a score in the high 20s for each team.
Especially comparing the Dutch team now to the Dutch team 1 year ago that also reached the final of the World Championship and then lost to Norway. Would you say they have become even better in these 12 months?
Oh, I think it's difficult to say, but I can talk a little about Helle Thompson because I had her as a trainer, and I don't, and that's not answering the question, no, but I really want to say something about her because she can't do the big changes in so short time, but her best quality is to get the best out of each player. She has a fantastic personality that really brings out the best. She did that with me. I had an FC Midtjylland when I played there. I was not playing so well, and she came in and she really got me to believe that I was a good player again, and that's a really important thing. And I think she can have done something like that with the Dutch players too. And she have really brings a good what we call it, much happiness and believe in the players. So I no, not quite. So that's something I think she could have done in these. They all have been happy girls. It's not that, but she has a ability to reach small things, to make small things better on short time. So that's interesting about her. She's a really great trainer. But what was your question?
Well, we can give that. We just give it to Courtney, who obviously saw the Netherlands play 1 year ago in Denmark, who saw them playing in Rio just 4 months ago, and obviously saw them playing here. If you compare the development of that team, and particularly looking at these past 12 months, and also including the coaches change, even though that has been only very recently, would you say they improved even further in the past year?
I don't know if improved is the right word because I think already last year they were very, very good. I think that, as Björn pointed out, Helle Thompson hasn't changed well, obviously she hasn't had much time yet, but I think it's very smart that she hasn't tried to influence the style of their game very much, and they really do seem to be playing exactly the way they were before. She's just picked up where Gruno left off and kept going with that. I think her biggest influence is this relationship with the players and this psychology that is helping them. Well, we'll see tomorrow if they've improved, or I mean, already they made it to the final of the World Championship, so it's hard to say that whether they better or. But I think that this is maybe a key that can help them take it one step further. I know in a game the other day that Tess Wester maybe wasn't having the best first half, and she said to our mobile reporters that Thompson told her at halftime, just go away with your music and relax and get focused. And that really helped Tess come back and have a phenomenal second half. So if she can work really, I actually saw the Dutch team at the airport flying out of Amsterdam, and already I saw this very good feeling I saw Helle with the girls, and I think that is this relationship and her ability to influence the players can be the thing that takes them the next step. So it's not necessarily that they've become technically more skilled or something. This psychology and this relationship can have the more impact, I think.
Just a quick question in between. Are we getting anything questions on Twitter? We're obviously very happy to. Yes, so obviously, people out there, we do follow you. Well, thanks for following us on Twitter, and we do follow your input. So if you do have questions, feel free to write them at EHF EURO is our Twitter account, and we ask them to any of our five experts here straight away. Björn, let's have a look at Denmark. In our usual pre-tournament coverage, we do power rankings. So we rank the teams. We look at the potential prospects for this tournament, and we usually rank 10 teams. I don't remember exactly where Denmark was placed, but probably not among the top four, and probably not among your top four either. It's great that it's like 360. You can actually watch him laughing now while I ask this question. Are they the absolute surprise package of this championship so far?
So I have to go back in my power ranking. Definitely, of course, my power ranking was Russia, Norway, France, Netherlands was okay. Then I don't even know, and then and maybe even among the top 10 with Denmark, so somewhere between 6 and 10 something. Then the top 16, that was definitely Denmark with them. Yes, I did not expect it like they came there. The surprise package here, I would say there were three. For me, there were three surprise packages. First, the Czech team, the German team on the lower level then, but for those who are in the semifinals, it's Denmark. I really, when I saw the main round matches in Helsingborg, I said, okay, I would have betted if I would bet for Romania for the top match, but in the end, it was really what Klaus Brun Jürgensen did there with the defense. Was mentioned 100 times today in the media conference and also here now, is the Danish defense has improved. It was when you go back in the years when they were really three times world Euro and the Olympic champion, you had seen that of course they always had some players, some tall middle block players, but they only relied on shooters from the backcourt area like Katrin Frulund or their wings. They were running like hell. So in the end, Dutch defense was never known as one of the best defenses in the world. This is what the Danish defense, of course, yeah. But when you see Klaus Brun Jørgensen was a defense expert when he was on court. So what he did there within the last year, so they missed the semifinal on the home world championship. They missed the qualification for Rio, and maybe other federations would have fired him already. And so we have to say, good job by Per Bertelsen and Morten Stig Christensen in Denmark that they kept him as the coach and they gave him the confidence. So, and he's paying back now.
Yeah, take the microphone straight away.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's interesting to have a look also how Denmark made all the way to the semifinal, because maybe they took some advantage of their preliminary round group where you had teams of Hungary and Montenegro. Montenegro in completely rejuvenating process, and Hungary hit by so many injuries. But maybe this only gave them some space to really get into the rhythm, to get into the shape. And when we are talking about Denmark, like a surprise package, then I would push it to a further level. For me, they are like a chocolate Kinder egg, because not only the team itself is surprising, but even some players really are astonishing for me. And I would mention for all of them, Mette Tramborg on the right back position, which she's just 20-year-old, and I think she's doing an amazing job, not only in the attack, where she's basically replacing, if I'm right, injured Lina Jorgensen, but also in the defense. What she did yesterday against the top scorer of the tournament was something unbelievable.
Isabel, you saw them obviously as well. Do you see another Norwegian-Danish rivalry surfacing? Is it too early to call that for the Danish team? What's your impression after having watched Denmark here at the EHF EURO?
I have I was I saw the game yesterday, and it was so emotional. Oh my God, when Klaus Brunjong started crying, because I've been following them, and I played in Denmark, and I know many of the girls. And as you said about not having a success in the last year's World Championship and didn't get the Olympics, and I know it has been some troubles with these players and Klaus Brun, and then to see them yesterday doing what they did as a team, and they really fighted. I never seen that so strong in the Danish team, and it was so emotional. I was standing there on television, oh, crying, because I know what a journey they had. It has been difficult. When I heard that Klaus Brun was taking over the team, I was, yes, that's good for the Danish. But then it was a lot of trouble. It's taken some time for him to become go from um, men's trainer to a women trainer, because he has a very rough style, and I think that the girls needed some time to get used to that, and he had to do some changes too. And now I think they found the right found each other in a way. And but I'm so impressed of the girls, and Sandra Toft. I played with her many years. She's just she doesn't have the greatest what you call it, percentage, but she knows when to be good. And it was so amazing to see her together with the defense. But one thing I've been thinking about the game tomorrow is that I would have played more 7 against 6 against the Danish defense. I don't understand why Romania didn't do that. The 2-3 times they did it, they got defense down to 6, and it was much easier to make the goals. And I will see tomorrow if Helle does that. If they get problems in the attack, maybe that would be a solution for getting them from 9 meters down to 7 meters. I would have done that if Ambros have done that. I think it would be another. When they were behind with 5 goals, when it was 15 minutes left or something, why I don't understand why he didn't do that. Just to try to do something, because then the defense was on 7 instead of 9, because yeah, that I think that would have done a difference. But so I'm looking forward to see tomorrow if Helle does that a little bit more, if she needs to do it, if the defense is as strong as it was yesterday. So I'm looking forward to it. It will be an amazing game.
Chris, what do you think? What are Denmark capable of achieving tomorrow against the Netherlands?
Well, as Vlado mentioned before, I think they had I guess 1 week before the tournament, when the news of the Hungarian injuries came through, they would have been licking their lips and rubbing their hands and saying, right, this is perfect for us to not only win the group, but put themselves in a great position to make it to the semifinals. They didn't look too amazing in the group matches, I think, in the preliminary round. That first half against the Czech Republic, where they were leaking goals all over, but somehow they managed to turn it around. And then even after the first game of the main round, it left them with 2 games to go against Russia and Romania, and they needed to get 2 wins really. And I remember speaking with Courtney before and saying that they need to produce something special, and also Sandra Toft needs to produce something special, because unlike many of these top teams, it is a one woman show in goal at the moment for Denmark. The second goalkeeper Reinhardt will be fantastic, I'm sure, one day, but at the moment they're relying. Yeah, she could take the penalty saves. Yeah, but at the moment, at least for this tournament, it is everything is on Sandra's shoulders, and she managed 2 amazing performances on her own and with the team. And if they can reproduce that, then who's to say that they won't be in a final against Norway or France, against another team? And then if they can once again score more goals than the other team in the final, then they've won. I think, yeah, if they've made it this far with those last 2 performances, if they can do that again, why not? Why not? Yeah, if they can, then I'm sure we'll have predictions afterwards, so I won't say anything now. So move on.
Move on. We have talked about both semifinals very much in depth now. We have a third game obviously tomorrow with Germany playing against Romania. Björn, you already said Germany for you one of the surprise teams here at the Euro, probably on a good way towards 2017. And I'm just saying he's nodding here. Courtney, for you, talking about the second team in that 5-6 match, Romania, had you expected more? I mean, they didn't play the most successful Olympic Games. I think that's fair to say. Or do you think that's the current status of a team that obviously also has a new coach for only a couple of months now?
I really wasn't sure what to expect from Romania before the tournament. I was really interested to see their first game because obviously the Olympics were very disappointing for them. But they were entering with a new coach, and I think the coach for Romania is extremely important. His ability, or his or her, whoever it may be at the time, to manage a player like Christina Niagu, who is far. All the coaches said today also that, so I think we can all agree that she's one of the most outstanding players in the world. Thomas Rudo has already mentioned that you have to have a special approach to managing Niagu and the rest of the team. And so that's a vital thing that the coach has to be able to do. So the first game Romania played, they played against Norway, and I was really impressed with Martin's approach because there were times when it looked like Romania could fall behind and lose by a lot, which we may have seen in the past. But I think that Martin showed that he could really manage their psychology, and I really think he showed that throughout the tournament. I was actually really surprised by this loss to Denmark. I thought that Martin would be able to guide them through tactically and so on, but he seemed to have no solution for the Danish defense. I am surprised that he didn't bring Dedu on earlier in this game because once she has been playing very well, Ungurianu was always an outstanding goalkeeper, but at this point when they were behind by 5, I'm surprised that he didn't try and make a change. And when Dedu did come on, I think it was only 15 minutes left, and then Denmark didn't score for 10 minutes. But neither did Romania. So that was the problem, that they couldn't find solutions in attack. I don't think Romania are ever a surprise. But I'm really excited to see what Martin can accomplish with them in the future. And yes, so no, I don't think they were a surprise. I am surprised by the game against Denmark, but as Chris said, Toft was one of the keys for this, and they shut down Niagu completely. She scored 10 goals in the previous 3 games, and then only 3 yesterday. And this was spectacular defense.
It's not Niaga, it's that Geiger and Bushevsky, they didn't play quite well, and Niaga can't do it all. And sometimes she has bad days. And so I was talking about that earlier, that if Romania is going to the semifinals, that you need Geiger and you need Bushevsky to be stronger. And I don't think they have. And then as a day as yesterday, when Niaga is not having her best day at work, it's difficult for them. They have a good they had a really good defense, and then I was really, it was great to see their how they were so happy after each goal, and that's a really good thing for the Romanian team that they got Thomas Rieder first, and then because there is a new mentality, yeah, and that has been the girls haven't seen looked as it was fun to play handball before, and now they really look like they love it again. So that's so important for the future. I think it will be, we will see a lot more from Romania in the years coming. I think it's a really good tendency for them.
Am I allowed to add something? No, Ambros Martin was trying to play down all the expectation before the tournament, and he said that he is on the starting block in the preparation for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. But whatever, I think they didn't make it to the semifinals, but I'm still convinced that their presentation at the Euro is a major success, taking into account that he took over just 3 or 4 weeks. But my opinion is that they lost the game against Denmark already one day before, and it's always like a little gamble. But perhaps Ambros should have rested Neagu instead Bucheski in a previous game against Czech Republic, because that game they could have lost. But already against Czechs, there were some moments where I thought that Romanians are running out of steam, and that was the reason why I thought that against Denmark, it if it turns into like a one woman show, if everything is just on Christina's shoulders, then that won't be enough. I know it's always difficult, and probably Ambrose would give us a lot of explanations why he couldn't do that, but that would the gamble I would do.
A quick word before we get into Chris's predictions. Did we get any questions, Jess? The All-Star. Quick one, Vlado, and Björn, maybe Vlado, one word on Russia, one or two maybe, and then Björn also on Germany.
I'm not sure whether one word would be enough to describe this team. Honestly, they were.
Say a lot of words sometimes.
He doesn't. He doesn't. We all kind of get used to his very unorthodox way of coaching and tutoring the players, and uh, there is something positive. Although Trefilo was all the way very negative about his own team, but at the end he picked them. So, and he was responsible for how they are prepared for the tournament. He fielded 5 players, 21 years old and younger. And there were players like Karina Sabirova from Astrakhanochka, who is already amazing in the Champions League. And there is, for example, this new right back, 17-year-old girl, Antonina Skorobogachenko. I managed to pronounce it, okay. Yes, I think there is a huge potential, and although Trefilo might have seemed not very satisfied, there is a lot of potential for a Russian future.
Yeah, definitely. First, one word back to Romania from my side. I'm still allowed. Um, I always describe this team a little bit like the men's team of Macedonia. So if it's not running, give the ball to Kirill Lazarov, and this is exactly with the Romanian team. But in contrast to Macedonia, now the Romanians have some other players like Bucheski, for example, who can take the responsibility there. And yeah, back to the Germans. It's nearly the same what Isabel said about the Danish team. No, I talk about the Germans, Flado. What Isabel told about the Danish team when she said that they maybe needed a coach who came a little bit harder and not rude, but a little bit harder. And funny enough, the Germans had 2 Danish coaches before, and at first they praised the typical Scandinavian mentality, this winners mentality. But what we heard is that the quality and the intensity of the training was not so hard. And now they have Michel Biekler, who never smiles. So you could think that the players say, "Oh God, what a coach!" But the players are absolutely impressed. He brings passion. He makes really. I think in one year the German players will look like the French team now because he was former athletic coach or athletic, and they got to know all heavyweight things you can lift in any gym better than any others. So I would say if they go with the athletic and they played completely different to the other last 2 championships in terms of team spirit and in terms of how the team was growing and how the team was reacting when they were down. In the last 2 championships, when they were down by 2, 3 goals, they resigned already. But now they came back. They came back several times when they were down. And I agree with Thomas when he says for the next future or the next World Championship in Germany, they are definitely a candidate to be among the best 4. So this is what the coach said. We are not among the best 4 at the moment. We're exactly there. We played in tournament where we belong between 5 to 8. Now we play for 5 or 6. And but for next year we're going to become one of the 4 semifinalists, and I guess it could work when you're playing on home ground.
As we get a lot of requests, I think if I understand correctly, that our experts here should name their all-star team, and probably including their MVP. I'm just going to talk a bit while you guys can make up your mind. I think the the way we're going to do it is so that we get a full all-star team here. By the way, everyone can vote on EHFEURO.com, the official championships website. You can vote for the all-star team. You can vote for 8 players, 1 per position, and the best defender. Obviously, we have also the MVP, which will be decided by an experts panel. So we've got 9 positions to talk about. So we'll see. We'll give.
It's clear what Isabel will be talking about each position. Goalkeeper first, and then I finish this. Definitely
Okay.
I was just thinking that's the most difficult.
I was just thinking we go round. We give Björn the goalkeeper and the left wing. We guys, obviously, God, this will take like another hour before we actually make up our mind. Goalkeeper and left wing. Lado, we have then left back and centre back. Where am I at now? Just make sure. Courtney, we've got the right back and the right wing. For Chris, we've got the line player and the best defender, which then leaves us for Isabel to let us know who would be her MVP of this tournament, the most valuable player. You can close, and then we can just hand the microphone around. You can close by naming your so the 2 players that you've been just assigned to, and you can close by naming your top 3 teams, 1, 2, 3 in this championship. And well, Isabella has to name the MVP, so she's got the full choice of of all players. And we give you the most time to think about. We'll start with Björn, and then we'll hand the microphone around. So, Björn, goalkeeper, left wing, 1, 2, 3.
So goalkeeper definitely my number 1 is Tess Wester. Then followed by, I have to be a little bit patriotic, by Clara Woltering. And then I would go for Sandra Toft in the goal.
No. Now you only have to name 1, and 1, 2, 3 is positions.
Okay. Then Tess Wester, Camilla Herren for the left wing position. And my 1, 2, 3 is 1 Netherlands, 2 Norway, 3 France.
So Tess Wester, who's the left wing?
Camilla Herren.
I had a left wing.
No.
Yeah, left back, center back.
I did that. Okay, good. Yes, so I think for the left back, it would be very unwise to say any other name that Kristina Neagu. I really liked what Honza Bashny said, the Czech coach, when I interviewed him, that with all respect to her, her playing skills are good enough that she would fit she would be able to play at the men's Euro in 1 month's time. So I can only agree with that she's a brilliant player. For the center back, there are so many good names. I would still give it to the host country, maybe as a consolation prize for Isabel Gulden. She has all eyes everywhere. Maybe it was really like who said that at the press conference, Toril Hergersson, that she was just burned out, and many people expected more from her, but I would give it to her. And when it comes to the teams, I'm sticking to France beating Netherlands in the final and Norway third. To be original.
Courtney, your turn.
On the right back, I really like Anavia Kareva from Russia. However, purely because Norway have made it further than Russia, I have to go with Nora Merck. And also because of this 400th goal of hers. This was an incredible goal. And she's, yes, an outstanding player. Then on the right wing, though Spain maybe were a bit disappointing.
That's for a different day. We can tell you about that.
No, he's not. This is true. From the list that we have, I still have to go with Carmen Martin. I think that she's a very classy player. She does her job on the wing really exactly what she's supposed to do. She scores when she gets the ball. She's a fantastic penalty taker. I like her passion on the court as well. Yeah. For finalist, I also just purely because I like something different. Sorry, so I live in the Netherlands, so I would like to see the Netherlands go through, and France. And let's say I'm going to say the Netherlands can win.
These are two positions I know least about. As a left-hander, I'm never allowed to play in the line, and I'm stuck in the wing in defense. So, I think for the line player, it's hard to argue against someone who has come in, probably was going to be second choice, and has done her job perfectly on the line, perfect shooting. So Frafjord, I would have to go. Yeah. She is also amazing in defense, and so is she. I think if she wasn't in the top 5 for line players, she would have been among the nominees for defense as well. As for the best defender, I think it's hard to go against the player who's been nominated for the team who has arguably the best defense, and that is France's Beatrice Edvige. So there are my two choices there. I don't think anyone's gone for Norway to win. Actually, strangely enough. I'm going to say it's a Norway-Denmark final. Norway win, and Netherlands beat France for bronze. Denmark in the final against Norway. Yeah, that's my guess.
Most valuable player? Yeah. I will go for Stine Jørgensen. She's been amazing for us. She's the reason why the Danish team is playing the semifinals, I think. She does the penalties, she shoots goals from afar, she is having a lot of assists, and she's a good defense player. So I think that's my favorite for this championship.
And 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3. I think it will be Norway at the top, and Denmark, and I'm not sure about the third, but I have to say something. So I'll go for the Netherlands.
Thomas, you always kind of avoid these guessings. Come on, tell us your 1, 2, 3.
I think Norway will win it. Norway will defend their title. From what I've seen, this is incredible pace with what they are playing with. I think at least for the moment being, no other team can match that over 60 minutes. I think they will be playing Netherlands in the. They will be playing Netherlands in the final. So we'll see a repetition of the World Championship final, and then third in the duel of the disappointed. I think France will have the upper hand eventually. So that would be my last 3. So I've been roped into this here. But thank you very much for being part of our first 360-degree hangout. It's been a pleasure having all of you here. Courtney, Chris, Isabel, Björn, and Vlado. Special thanks to you, Isabel, for making yourself available after having been on television already for 6 hours every day. So I hope all of you out there enjoyed it. You've heard our also predictions. Now it's your time to vote, ehfeuro.com, and you can vote 7 players, 1 per position, or 7 positions with 5 players each, and 5 players for the best defender. Your vote counts. Again, thank you very much. Have a great night. Tune into wherever you are, your respective TV channel to watch the semifinals tomorrow, and then obviously on Sunday again when the finals are being played. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ah, tell me when we are awkward. Yes, I am really surprised because
to create outtakes for
have
later.
you turned it off now?